Hello, this is Professor Gavoor. I want to talk about Chapter 6, Disruptive Technologies. So we're talking about understanding giant killers and tactics to avoid extinction. I think the first tactic to avoid extinction, gee, I can't say it today. Tactics to avoid extinction are to be the giant killer, to constantly innovate, perhaps like Amazon has. Amazon had a breakthrough. They created a way to sell books first online and developed a supply chain to do it. And then they keep innovating. They keep staying ahead of others. That's the way you maintain your competitive advantage. So here's the learning objectives for this first session. Identify two characteristics of disruptive innovations. Understand why dominant firms often fail. And suggest techniques to identify potentially disruptive technologies and to effectively nurture their experimentation and development. So, many once large firms fail to make the transition as new technologies emerge to redefine markets. Prime example, Sears, IBM. Sears was the leading retailer. They created the Sears catalog. The Sears catalog was shut down a few months before Amazon started. If they had had any vision at all, they could have said, let's take this catalog concept and take it online, and could have owned the market, but they didn't see it. Sony was innovative, was the Apple of the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. And they kept coming up with innovative, new, wonderful products. But once their leader, Akio Morita, passed away, the successors did not have the same level of innovation and drive. As a result, when digital music, when MP3 became the standard format, or MP4 as Apple's is, they were not able to create a product. Apple just basically created iTunes and the iPod, and next thing you know, Sony was a has-been in the personal music business, where they invented the transistor radio. They invented the Walkman and the Discman. But no longer, Apple took it over. And of course, Apple has been replaced by every other, other people that design smartphones have taken over that business with Apple. So these patterns are seen in everything from earth-moving equipment to mini mills. The tech industry is perhaps the most fertile ground. The market creating price elasticity of fast, cheap technologies act as a catalyst for the fall of giants. The other thing is Kodak. Think of Kodak. Everybody could see digital photography coming. It wasn't necessarily one innovator that did it first. Kodak made all their money selling film. They used to make cameras, but never really developed that technology. The technology of cameras survived the dying of film and moving to electronics, digital photography, but Kodak could not make the transition at all, and they could see it coming. So disruptive technologies are ones that create shocks in the marketplace. Oftentimes, they're called disruptive innovations. They're things that maybe they were not possible until some technical or technological innovation or some scientific breakthrough or something allowed this disruptive technology to happen. Maybe people put things together in a way that were not put together before from existing technologies. One of the geniuses of Steve Jobs was that he was able to take, I think they said the original Apple computer was the greatest invention of Xerox Technology Park in Palo Alto, California. That never happened. Never happened at Xerox, because Steve Jobs went there and saw that they had innovated the mouse. They had innovated touch screens. They had innovated a Windows kind of interface for operating systems on mini computers or personal computers. He saw it and saw the ability to put it together and create something better. From 1 + 1 + 1 = 6, not 3. So true disruptive technologies have two characteristics that make them so threatening. First, they come to the market with a set of performance attributes that existing customers don't value. Well, I don't know about don't value, but didn't think was possible, didn't think they needed. Did I need an iPod? Well, gee whiz, it'd be nice if I could carry all my music around with me, but I just never worried about it because I always thought there was going to be a record, a cassette, a CD, something that I have to carry around with the individual music on it. I didn't think that they could make a hard drive small enough to put in a small device, either solid state or had movement on it, and that I could carry all my music in something the size of a deck of cards. So I don't think they don't see value in it. They didn't think it was possible. They didn't know they needed it until they saw it. That's the key attribute. Second, over time, the performance attributes improve to a point where they invade established markets. Sometimes it happens immediately. Sometimes it takes a little while. One thing about Amazon is Amazon was certainly a strong company and a big company and a growing company, but they really took off, again, thanks to Apple and the innovation of the smartphone. Now, I don't have to even, if I think about buying something, I open the Amazon app on my iPhone and order something immediately, no matter what I'm doing. Literally, no matter what I'm doing. Well, some things I may want to delay a bit until I'm done doing it so I don't get in a car accident or cause some other sort of calamity. So these attributes are found in many innovations that have brought about the shift from analog to digital. So all the changes were enabled by fast, cheap technologies, largely by the trends we see in the chart in the previous chapter labeled Figure 5.1. Take a look at it. Now this is the chart that Figure 6.1 that is in the Clayton Christensen articles that I posted. And, there's some charts that people use to explain things that I don't understand, but this chart has become famous and I don't officially get it. There's two lines that are going at a lesser slope. One is performance demanded at the low end of the market, and one is performance demanded at the high end of market. And then here's time here, and here's product performance. So I think what you have is the incumbent market leader. And then you have some disruptive innovation that maybe comes in, might not have a lot of product performance, I guess, at the beginning of it. But then as it goes, it increases product performance. I would think at the same time as it's doing it, this one is probably decreasing in product performance over time. You probably see this thing probably turn around, but they don't draw it that way. But this is the picture they use. Here's a picture I like, which is probably more confusing to you, but it makes sense to me. This is the Kanu model from quality management. And on the x-axis, you have a product or service performance. If it's a bad performance, it is a good performance. This is, does the product you get do what it's supposed to do, and does it work? Here is the customer satisfaction with it. So this is poor product performance, dissatisfaction of the customer, better product performance, but still not great satisfaction. This is bad product performance, but people are satisfied with it. And then here is good product performance and great and satisfaction of the customer. This is where everybody wants to be. So, okay. So we have these two axes: customer satisfaction, product performance. They're saying the normal one-dimensional desired market level quality right now for any product is this 45-degree angle. When a product doesn't work, the customer is dissatisfied. When the product works well, the customer is satisfied at a normal level. Then there's some products that are called must-be. So it must be product. This never gets above customer satisfaction. The only time you notice it is actually when it breaks. I like to liken it to light switches. You walk into a room, you flip the switch. You don't notice it, you don't think about it, you don't, I mean, as long as it doesn't electrocute you, which is a negative, as long as it works, you don't even think about it. The only time you think about it is when it doesn't work. So the most satisfaction it can give you is 0. Neutral. I don't think about it at all. But if it fails, you think badly. You're not satisfied with it. On the other hand, are the innovative products. And the more disruptive the innovation, the more disruptive the technology, the cooler. Here, even when it's introduced and the product maybe doesn't perform so well at the beginning, it still has a positive customer satisfaction. But as it improves and you get good at making it, and then it really, really takes off, like LED light bulbs. I mean, the product performance is okay, but the price was horrible. I don't want to spend $12 for a light bulb that lasts 5 times longer. I'd rather spend the same price for a light bulb that lasts 5 times longer, but the economy of scale wasn't there. The only time I spent $15 for a light bulb was I got so upset from the 3-way incandescent light bulbs always burning out on the middle one that I tried an LED light bulb, and I was like delighted how long it lasted, and I could have the 3 levels of illumination from something that lasted a long time. I don't think one of those light bulbs that I've put in, and I bought more since the price went down, has ever failed on any of the illumination levels. One time I thought it failed, but I just tightened the bulb and it worked fine. Okay, so this is the innovation right here. The exciting quality. They call it delighters, but Kano called it exciting quality. If you can provide that exciting quality. Now, over time, the exciting quality becomes the norm of the future. So time, if we have a time dimension this way, the exciting quality becomes the must be or one-dimensional quality. They use desired quality here, but I like, it's a desired normal quality. It becomes the standard product of tomorrow. And then the standard product of today becomes the must-be quality of tomorrow. You just assume it's going to work. And you're surprised when it doesn't because it's such a norm. So this is a way of looking at disruptive technologies. This is not in the book. Why big firms fail? Well, failure to see the disruptive technologies as a threat. They don't dedicate resources to developing potential technology since these markets do not look attractive, or they do not nurture the needs of the new customer base, and it creates blindness. I'm going to add something else. The other reason, and startups amass expertise quickly and stay ahead of the game of everybody else. I'm going to add a third bullet here, is that I don't think they know what to do or how to do it, or maybe not able to execute it. Kodak, everybody could see digital photography coming. So the only way for them to survive was to get into flash memory and to get into cameras. They should have, while they were riding high, bought somebody, maybe an Olympus or Pentax or somebody like that, or partnered with them, or Fujifilm. Maybe they could have partnered together with their enemy, their biggest competitor, to try to survive as a maker of cameras. Maybe bought Panasonic's camera business or something. I don't know. But they never could. They couldn't get out of the way. Every executive in that company rose and became successful in the business of selling film. And that was going away. What can you do? And Sears, I think their level of managerial expertise, by the time Walmart wounded and made them lesser than they used to be, and others didn't have the management wherewithal to compete against Amazon. In fact, closed their catalog business, like I said, a few months before Amazon actually started. So you want to remove your short-sighted, customer focus, and bottom-line obsessed blinders. You want to have conversations with those on experimental edge. You want to actually ask yourself, it's a Hamel and Prahalad. I could have probably put that chart in here too. Is who are your customers today? Who will be your customers tomorrow? What are the products and services that make you, that endear your customers to you today? What should the products and services that will endear your customers in the future be to you? If you're not asking yourselves who are your competitors today, who will be your competitors tomorrow, if you're not asking yourself those questions on a strategic planning level, at least a few times a year, you're going to get caught blindsided. So you want to have conversations with those on an experimental edge. Maybe buy some of those startup companies or invest in them so you have some foot in the door. Increase conversations across various product groups between managers and technologists. And if employees are quitting to join a technology, it might be worth considering moving into that technology. So potential disruptor is spotted. Now what? Well, you build a portfolio of options on emerging technologies. You want to, like I said, invest in firms or startups or internal efforts. So focus solely on what may or may not be turn out to be the next big thing. Maybe you focus on a couple things. So maybe you take some options with the firm. Like I said, you buy a stake in a startup, or you encourage new market and technology development. Maybe you do that at a college level. Hold on, I'm getting a call. Can I call you later? Okay. Encourage a new market and technology development as best you can. You could fund some college research. You could fund your own R&D. So in the next coin, we're going to look at the next level here. We're going to look a little bit at Bitcoin. Amazing little innovation. So it's an open source, decentralized payment system that operates in a peer-to-peer environment without bank or central authority. It's actually the first international non-government supported currency. It has its own relative value, and no one thought it would take off, and it did. It's also a cryptocurrency. So it's a digital asset. It's a digital asset where there's a secure form of mathematics, which is usually based on very large prime numbers that it'll take you forever to figure out. Is used to handle transactions, control the creation of additional units, and verify the transfer of assets in a way that only the people that are transferring the asset and the people that the asset is being transferred to can tell. And Bitcoin uses blockchain, which is a distributed, decentralized ledger that records and verifies transactions and ownership. The internet has made it available that you don't need a central bank and you don't need a centralized ledger system to know what's happening and the value of these things. It's created its own financial market. And you can tell what a Bitcoin's worth in dollars or in yen or Chinese, the Chinese currency, RMBs, British pounds, euros, you name it. So it's really kind of a creative innovation. So they're transferred from person to person like cash. They're recorded in a distributed, decentralized ledger. If you want to, I don't know that you can go out and buy a car with Bitcoin, but you can transfer the Bitcoin into dollars and then buy a car with the dollars or a house or whatever it is. So transactions are recorded, like I said, in a decentralized public ledger known as a blockchain. Verification and timestamping of transactions is performed by a pool of users called miners. No one can transfer the asset without a special password called a private key, usually stored in a cryptocurrency wallet. If you lose your account number, you're kind of screwed. And if you have, let's say you have $1 million in Bitcoin and forget your password and forget your private key and haven't written it down or somehow memorized it or whatever, you're screwed. You'll never get your money back. You won't know where it is. It's like getting Alzheimer's and not knowing where you stored the family jewels in a safe deposit box and lost the key at the same time. Passwords are virtually impossible to guess, and verification makes sure no one spends the same bitcoins in two places at once. So it really is kind of self-governing, an amazing innovation. Well, the benefits, you can transfer money without transaction fees. Right now, if I want to I just bought a musical instrument from Israel, and if I to transfer money, the bank took their cut. Why not? It's used for international commerce. The transactions happen without delay or transaction fees. I said that twice, transaction fees. But even then, if you wire transfer money now, it's pretty darn fast. I mean, it happens within minutes, if not instantly. So crypto also opens the possibility of micropayments, small digital payments that are now impractical because of fees. I'm happy to collect, if everybody wants to send $1 to me for whatever it is, I don't know. I'll write a love letter for you, and it costs you $10. Without the fees of credit cards and all that, I get all the $10 that you send me, or one Bitcoin, or whatever the case may be. They're also a boon for international commerce, especially cross-border remittance and expanding e-commerce in emerging markets. You don't have to pay foreign exchange fees. You don't have to pay taxes. You just do it. It straddles the line between transparency and privacy. They have no single controlling entity where fraud, corruption, damage, hacking, or government shutdown could occur. I guess that's also a negative. If no one's controlling it, could it get out of control? There are standards for securely exchanging value and recording ownership over the internet without an intermediary. The other thing is that since it's so private and so well done, nefarious characters use it. As I explained in our last lecture, the idea of ransomware. Someone breaks into your computer of your university or your business or even your home computer and encrypts all your data. And then they want you to pay in Bitcoins and they will send you the key to unencrypt it and go on their merry way. And what are you going to do for your business? And you get this ransomware where they basically ransom the entire database of your company. I guess it's happened, and probably has happened in cases where it's not even been reported because, one, the company doesn't want the bad publicity, and so what? You pay $1 million or a couple $1 million or a couple $100,000 or whatever it is to these clever hackers in Bitcoin and try to beef up your security so it doesn't happen again. So, interesting stuff. Where do people use blockchain now? NASDAQ, a stock exchange, a collection of 45 of the world's largest lending institutions, including Bank of America, have used the blockchain. They're not using Bitcoin. They're using the blockchain kind of technology that goes with Bitcoin because of the security involved. IBM, Insure Nationwide, Overstock.com, De Beers, the Diamond Company, Spotify, Kodak, the company that went out of business but still has their chemical arm. Eastman Chemicals still exists. And I think somebody bought the name Kodak and is using it for something. And Facebook uses it, I guess, as well. Facebook is talking about creating their own cryptocurrency, and others have. I don't know how many cryptocurrencies you need. I think in this case, an exciting, innovative technology, exciting quality is what Bitcoin was. So the concerns. Consumer benefit needs to be stronger, difficult to understand and use technology, has a bad reputation because of the drug dealers and tax evaders, etc. I don't know. People are not sure about the security, or they are sure about the security. You'd like to have some methodology if you forget what your key is to get your money back and get access to your money. Firms have struggled under an ambiguous cloud of not knowing how they will be regulated and what legal issues apply. Unless you have an international agency regulating it, you're going to end up with maybe local governments regulating it with different degrees of control. Maybe. Volatility of the value, even though it's gone up pretty consistently. But who knows what the future lies in this innovative technology. So here's a fluctuation in the price. I think it's probably gone back up. But at this point, everybody in the world was trying to invest in Bitcoin. Well, and then when all the suckers bought in, people made money, bought in again, made money, and it's gone down and up and down. I wonder what it has happened. Someone should post a picture, maybe it could be me, but maybe it could be one of you as well, of where Bitcoin is right now. I'd like to see this picture, what's happened during the pandemic. And that's the last slide. This is actually a mercifully short video lecture. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll talk again soon.